If you clicked on this video, chances are you want to build an audience on social media. Maybe you haven't even started yet, or maybe you're stuck with the growth of your page. Either way, I'm here to help you out, because not only did I grow my own Instagram page from 30,000 to over 170,000 followers in the last year, but I also helped dozens of creators do the same. And over my 5 years of growing and helping others on social media, I experienced a lot of things. I've seen creators go viral and build careers, but I've also seen even more people fail, burn out, and give up completely. So the real question is, why do only a few succeed? What is actually needed to grow an audience on social media? In this video, I won't just tell you the same surface-level advice you hear everywhere, like, yeah, use a hook in your video. Because yes, those are important too, but we've all heard that a million times. No, in this video, I want to go deeper. We're going to talk about the fundamental soft skills that will determine whether you make it or not. So with that being said, let's get started. But before we can talk about the skills you need, we first need to talk about why building a presence on social media is so powerful these days. In my last video, I talked about how if you want to retire early, you somehow need to increase your income. And one way to increase your income is through a business. Now, the issue is you're most likely broke and don't have any money to fund a business. For example, if you would want to start a clothing brand, you would need to spend thousands of dollars on sample and ads without knowing if you will be able to sell your clothes. But here's where social media comes in. You literally don't need any capital to start your own personal brand. You have everything you need right here, your phone and an internet connection. I mean, you're basically consuming content for hours daily. So why not just invest that time to build something on your own? Because right now, attention is one of the most valuable things in the world. We live in an attention economy, and if you can capture attention, even just a little bit of it, you can monetize it in so many ways. Sponsorships, affiliate links, ad revenue, selling products, services, the list goes on. People out there are making a full-time living just from posting consistently and building a loyal audience. And here's the thing. If you later on decide to still launch another business, like a clothing brand, you can use the attention you built on your personal brand to launch it. So this is why I believe building a personal brand is the ultimate cheat code, and you're seriously sleeping if you don't take that opportunity. But we all know that getting attention on social media isn't easy, and we will now analyze why that is. Attention. Attention is like gold. It's a limited resource on this world, because on this planet, we people only have a limited amount of time we can pay attention to content on social media. So the attention on social media is limited. But meanwhile, the supply for content is growing. Each day, people decide to start creating content because of the reasons I mentioned earlier. But here's the thing. What happens if the demand for content stays consistent while the supply keeps growing? Exactly. It becomes harder to get attention. And that's something most creators don't understand. They always whine about the mean algorithm and are like, please bring back the organic reach, but they completely miss the fundamental point. I mean, yes, in an ideal world, we should all get easily 100,000 views on our posts, but that's simply impossible because, as mentioned, the attention out there is limited. So, it's pretty entitled when new creators demand the platform to just give them more reach, because if you get more reach, it means someone else must get less reach. What I basically wanted to say is this. Social media is a competition. If you don't create better content than others, someone else will, and they will get the limited attention. But before we talk about how to get better at creating content, what kind of content should you create in the first place? So I daily get asked, hey TZ, I want to earn money. What niche is the most profitable? And as soon as I read this message, I already know they aren't going to make it. Because social media is a long-term game. You will spend hours creating content while seeing minimal results. If you want to succeed on social media, you should stick to a niche you are passionate about and not focus too much about money. Because nowadays, you can monetize almost anything. I mean, there exists this guy called Hub's Life on Instagram. He grew to over 1 million followers by posting content about his boring 9-to-5 job. And now, he quit his 9-to-5 job because he can charge brands up to 5 figures for a single Instagram post. So yeah, you nowadays can monetize almost any type of personal brand. The only important thing is that you don't want to create a brain rot meme or theme pages. Those pages are for brokies, since companies aren't really interested in sponsoring those, and it's hard to sell something to a broad audience like that. So just choose a topic you're passionate about and start posting your own content about it. Ah yes, self-awareness. Lack of self-awareness is the #1 reason why people fail on social media. But what is self-awareness? Well, Google says self-awareness is the ability to tune into your own feelings, thoughts, and actions. When people are self-aware, they understand their strengths and challenges and know what helps them thrive. They also understand that how they see themselves may be different from how others see them. Let me give you an example. I often get messages like, hey TZ, can you have a look at my post and tell me why it didn't go viral? Then I have a look at it, and I don't want to be mean, but oftentimes it's the most boring, uncatchy, and aesthetically displeasing post I have ever seen. And that's what I mean with self-awareness. It's completely fine if your first post sucked. My first post sucked too. But you need to be honest with yourself. You need to be self-aware of your current strengths and weaknesses. Because only by accepting and understanding your weaknesses you can work on them and improve. Which brings us to the next point. Now that we've talked about self-awareness, let's talk about its best friend, media awareness. So what is media awareness? In this context, it simply means being conscious and intentional about how you consume content on social media. Because let's be real, most people scroll like zombies. Their thumbs are working, but their brains are on autopilot. But if you want to grow as a creator, you can't afford to scroll like that. You need to train yourself to consume content like a student, not just for fun, but to learn. Every post you see, every video you watch is an opportunity to reverse engineer what works. Ask yourself, what caught your attention in the first second? Why did you stop scrolling? What made you keep watching? Was it the sound, the pacing, the subtitles, the angle? How did they structure their message? Often it's the subtle stuff, like a riser sound effect building tension, or a perfectly timed cut, or a tiny moment of silence before the punchline. These are things most people don't consciously notice, but they feel it. You need to start noticing those details, because once you become media aware, your whole approach changes. You're not just copying trends, you're understanding why those trends work. You're not just stealing formats, you're now able to develop your own style. You go from, why didn't my reel go viral, to, I see. The pacing was off and the first 3 seconds didn't hook anyone. And that's a game changer. So next time you're scrolling, pause for a second. Don't just consume, analyze. Use social media like a lab. Study what works, then apply it to your own content. Okay, but even if you're media aware and create the best content, it still could be that the algorithm doesn't give you the attention you deserve. Most people give up at this point. They are like, oh my god, the mean algorithm is preventing me from living my dreams, and then give up. But let's imagine this scenario. Imagine I would kidnap your whole family, and I would only free them if you grow to 10,000 followers in 6 months. All of the sudden, you wouldn't give up that easily. All of the sudden, you wouldn't just think about the algorithm to get attention. No, you would move heaven and earth to make it happen. You wouldn't just post on Instagram. You would post on TikTok, Twitter, YouTube. You wouldn't just post on social media. You would post on forums, Reddit. You would email blog owners to write about your cool ideas. You would go to the city and hand out cool designed QR codes with a link to your Instagram page. You would hit up other creators to collaborate with you. You would look at where attention lives and then show up there, even if it's uncomfortable. That's what out-of-the-box thinking means. It means being obsessed enough to find any angle, not just waiting around for the algorithm to pick you. Most people wait. Most people are not proactive enough like this, and that's why they don't grow on social media. But winners create opportunities. They don't take no as an answer. So ask yourself, if I truly had to grow, what would I be willing to do that 99% of others won't? That's the mindset that'll separate you from everyone who gave up. Now, what do all successful creators on social media have in common? They post on social media for a long time. As an example, it took Mr. Beast 2 years to only grow to 1,000 followers. And I also started posting every single day since November 2019. But here's the issue. In today's world, we are used to instant gratification. You open your phone, boom, instant dopamine. You play a video game, boom, you get consistent rewards from your effort. But all of that changes if you try to build a brand on social media. Now, you put in hours of work and get no results. You put in more hours of work and still no results. And that's what frustrates 99% of the people and lead them to giving up. So what should you do? What should you do to overcome this? I think the best way to overcome this is to simply accept it. You simply must accept that the results you will get are not proportional to the amount of effort you put in, which again brings us back to the start of the video. Post about something you're passionate about, because when you post out of passion and fun, you will have a higher chance of staying consistent than someone who is only in it for the money and results. But speaking of consistency, you know how all of these gurus tell you to just post consistently? Well, what if I told you that this is not true? Yes, posting consistently is the basic requirement for growth, but posting consistently is actually not a guarantee for success. In fact, you could post the same boring post thousands of times for thousands of years and still would get no attention. Even Albert Einstein already said, insanity is doing the same thing over and over again and expecting different results. So if you want to succeed on social media, you need to make data-driven decisions. You need to think like a scientist. You need to treat your content like experiments. Try out new styles, analyze, and adapt. And don't try to do the same thing over and over again expecting different results. Only by iterating this way, you will sooner or later struck on gold. So in this video, you learned the most important soft skills you need to succeed as a creator. You basically must become a media-aware artist and a data-driven scientist. If you work on these soft skills, I promise you, you will grow. Maybe not instantly, but definitely eventually. If this video helped you, feel free to drop a like and subscribe for more honest creator advice. And now, stop watching and get that bread.